Wow. Micah Parsons got traded from the Dallas Cowboys to Green Bay Packers. Wow. A week before the season starts, before they go play Philly. Wow. Wow. Then Kenny Clark and there was a couple of draft picks brought back to Dallas. Woo. Hmm. This is a message though. The Cowboys aren't playing in that they don't want anyone who doesn't want to be there, and they weren't willing to pay Micah Parsons. You know, so they sent a message. Um, the problem was is that they weren't a contender. And he wanted to get paid, and he was sitting in a situation where he was just kind of like it wasn't happening. I am surprised that they got traded to a rival in the NFC though. I would have probably sent his behind to Jacksonville or to Cleveland or I sent him far away because if you have to face them and he's, got adrenaline and Jordan Love right now, I'll tell you something. He he's sitting in a pretty good position because now they got their defense fixed. One of the problems that the Packers had with Matt LaFleur is this. They won what I call window dress games. They beat a lot of teams and they stockpile 11, 12 wins, but they would never win those games that mattered. Some of it was because of bad turnovers. Some of it was just because of bad play calling. But then you get a guy like this in his peak, in his prime, and a quarterback that's coming into his own, and you were 11, 12 win team, you could be a real problem. This makes Green Bay, because remember, Green Bay, could be just what happened. Remember, the last time they got a big name on defense, you remember what happened? They won a Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying that Micah Parsons is going to be the second coming of Reggie White for him, because that's some big shoes. However, could be lightning striking again. As for Dallas, to me, it came down to one, two things. They didn't want to pay him, and he had probably booed enough against what they were about, and they probably got tired of it. They probably just didn't want to hear it no more. Sometimes, no matter how talented you are, if you cry wolf too many times, people just ain't gonna want to keep giving you tissue. They ain't gonna keep wanting giving you. They gonna say that's enough. Do I blame him? No. He couldn't win there. He was seeing the writing on the wall, and the writing on the wall was Dak gets hurt, they underachieve, they don't produce. Michael Parsons was, almost almost 5 years into his career there. They weren't getting any better. And I think it was a valid point that just what they were going through. He called it about Mike McCarthy on this podcast. I think between him talking off the field, saying what he said, putting Jerry Jones on Blast Street, which he had every right to. Because Jerry Jones sometimes act like he's borderline senile or he's just a stubborn old mule. And that's the reality. But, the reality is, if you're not going to pay a cat, and you got to think long and hard when you let a talent like that walk out the door. You got to think long and hard. But hey, that's the kind of business Jerry Jones is. And he's always stubborn about getting up that bag. So, well, it's an interesting trade. It's funny right before the season starts. But remember, you'd be surprised. And I think they were thinking about letting him go for quite a while. I think that the longer was in the camp, they had no use for him. But I will tell you like this though. Had they been a title contending team, I think they probably have a change of heart. But I think because they're not a title contending team, they're not even as good as Green Bay. They didn't make the playoffs last year. And with Dak Prescott, they used their first round casualty. So think about it. Jordan Love got his half as many postseason wins as Dak Prescott. And Dak's been in the league almost 10 years. So it's going to be interesting. That's going to be some big shoes for the Cowboys to fill. It's going to be interesting how it plays out. But anyway, big news. Micah Parsons traded from the Dallas Cowboys to Green Bay Packers. I know some Packer fans, they probably dancing on the ceiling like Lionel Richie and came back with an S-curl shag again. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shit of it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm on one time. Peace.